Good morning, everybody. Today I'm at a red kiwi vineyard, and what I'm doing is basically working a bit on the soil and soil structure. And by that I mean very gently and very mildly scratching the top part of the soil. What we are trying to do here is basically no tillage farming. By no tillage, I mean we don't turn over the soil. We don't have any deep tillage in order to keep the structure of the soil and not to disturb the microorganisms beneath the soil. Since we are trying to do farming as organic as possible, I don't say totally 100% organic, but we try to minimize the use of any kind of chemicals as much as possible, and especially any kind of herbicide, insecticide, and anything with a side at the end. So since we don't use any herbicide, we have a lot of weed growing, which we try to keep some of them as long as it's not disturbing the growth of the trees and the shrubs. We try to keep them in order to have a green mulch on the ground and to minimize the evaporation of irrigated water. So, but when they are out of control and when they become too dense and too much, they might compete with the main plants for the use of nutrition. So at these moments we try to mechanically eliminate them or mechanically mix them with the very top layer of our soil in order to let them being digested and used and consumed by the microorganisms of the soil. And it's a kind of green mulch and green fertilizer at the end. And I do this kind of mild tillage with this device, with this rotivator, and pretty practical. We do it maybe once or twice a year. We try to avoid any kind of deep aeration of the soil. Air and oxygen is really good for the soil, but when you aerate too much, too often, it can bring up your organic matter, and the organic matter can be digested and burned by the oxygen and used up. So you end up with the soil which is lacking organic matter, and then a soil that is basically starving and doesn't have any good structure anymore. So that's basically why we try to avoid any kind of deep aeration or deep tillage.